Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Monday, April 29th, 2019. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Oh, hold on, sign. There we go. Coffee. Mmm. So good. So good. I was thinking of this show yesterday. I was at the grocery store last night and in the coffee aisle and contemplating all of the different coffees and realized how small a part the actual coffee, like what variety of coffee, plays in this show. And I thought about buying a bunch of different coffees, and then I realized that I struggle to get through all the stuff that I talk about as it is. So I'm not going to complicate things with more coffee and coffee discussion. Yeah. Well, it was a big weekend, an exciting weekend, a Good Friday, not Good Friday, but a Good Friday. I had a good weekend. Let's see. Friday's major event was getting a new car. I hinted at that Friday morning. So here's what happened, and here's why this is kind of relevant to this show. I used to have two cars. I had a Toyota 4Runner and a Scion FRS. And I traded both of them in for a Mazda 3 hatchback all-wheel drive. I was able to do that because Whistlekick no longer sets up at events. When I went to events, I needed a lot of space, and the 4Runner allowed me to do that. I love both vehicles. I will miss both of them, but looking forward to the roughly $400 to $500 a month I'm going to save between gas, insurance, payment, and all that. So that's kind of cool. It's black. If you find my Instagram, which is just at Jeremy Lesniak, there's a picture. So that was a big deal on Friday. Saturday, did a bunch of work around the house, planted a bunch more seedlings. So many plants. There's dozens ready to go. My garden is going to be a jungle this summer, which I'm excited about. Went out Friday and Saturday night, had a good time, had some good food. And then Sunday, highlight of Sunday. Yesterday was a beautiful day, a little bit cool, but absolutely gorgeous, and spent some time outside, working in the yard primarily with a chainsaw, cutting down trees that had been damaged over the winter. We had a couple storms with some very wet snow, and the lilac trees did not take that well. So cut up a lot of that, dragged the brush back into the woods, and cut the rest up for firewood. There's something kind of nice about being able to take firewood that, grew on your land and bring it inside and heat with it. It's kind of cool. And then what's today? Today is getting a ton of work done at home. Maybe leaving the house to get some of that work done just as a distraction, and then going to Taekwondo. Oh, and I went to the gym a couple times in there over the weekend. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to ignore social media and watch last night's Game of Thrones episode, because if I don't do it now, there will be spoilers, because some of you stink. Not you people personally, but some of the internet stinks. But we had a couple questions come in, and in fact, I think there's a question in my email that I did not print out because it came in over the weekend, but I'll print that out, probably get to it tomorrow. So if you're watching, whoever that question asker was, I'll get there. But we had a couple questions come in, and let's start with the first one. It has been said, and I have said this, but this is the other question asker phrased it. It has been said that the world would be better if more people practiced martial arts. How do you think the world would change if that were true? I think the number one thing that would change is that people would recognize that they have some control over their lives. When I take a big step back and I look at martial artists across the board, people who've been training, a couple years at least, versus the general population, martial artists tend to take a little bit more control in their lives. It's not a lot, it's not huge. Martial artists are better people, but they're not dramatically better. It's not like we solve all the problems. But the more time I see someone spend in martial arts, the more they seem willing to take responsibility for their lives, to take action to change things. I don't know too many high-level martial artists who are complaining about what others did to them. They tend to take some ownership. You know, that they are, you know what would be an interesting statistic? Percentage of black belts that are unemployed versus the general population. I would find that really interesting. I have no idea how we would pull that off. That's one of those things that as whistlekick grows, I could say, hey, let's put out a survey. Certainly not scientific data, but would be neat to find the result. I gotta sneeze. Nope, nothing on my face. Yeah. So I think that's the general answer on that question. Second question was, how do you think people change if they've been training for 10 years or more? And that question's a little more interesting to me. I got a burp now? What is going on? I'm not putting my best forward. Sorry, guys. Hold on. More coffee, I guess. I slept a ton this weekend. I feel very rested. So, I'm sorry. Excuse me. How would people change? What, 10 years? I think it's a lot of what I said. It's taking ownership over your life. When I think of people who have been training for 10 years, they're probably a black belt or equivalent in the styles that don't use that sort of ranking system. And they tend to have confidence. They tend to be more physically healthy, more emotionally healthy. They just tend to be better, more well-rounded people. They have an outlet for their frustrations, for their pain. Here's a way that I think we can look at it. People who've been training a while aren't necessarily dramatically better at any one thing, but they are noticeably better at everything. And that's statistically, and that's, not any one person. I'm sure we could find people who 10 years into martial arts completely revolutionized their lives, and we could find people who've been training 30 years who are terrible people and have actually regressed in their personal growth and physical health. But when I look at martial artists overall, I'm exposed to a lot of martial artists, so I can look, kind of broadly. I think it's a little bit of a boost in every area. 10 to 20%. I think that's worth it. I think martial arts is worth it. I don't think there's anything that offers the diverse improvements, and I don't think there's anything that allows you to continue improving indefinitely. If I was a high-level soccer player, I might get some of those same benefits. I might, I'd certainly get in better physical health and learn how to function on a team and many things. But how long can I be a high-level soccer player? Once I hit, even if I'm in fantastic shape, let's say I can push it out to mid-40s, I start to physically deteriorate. I can't play at the same level that I did. But as a martial artist, even as my physicality starts to decline, I've got so many other things I can work on. And let's face it, there are plenty of examples of high-level martial artists continuing to improve and impress everyone into their 50s, 60s, 80s. Especially if we take out the combat aspect, if we remove sparring from the equation. I don't know about you, but I've seen people do forms in their 60s and 70s that are mind-boggling. There's a lot of room for improvement. And that's because the way we define a good or better martial artist is subjective, and it's a general collection of all of those traits that you might imagine. The physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the technical, the intellectual. Yeah, those are great questions. Thank you. So, as you go through your day today, take stock of how martial arts has improved your life. And take stock of where you'd like martial arts to improve your life. If you want to be more patient, practice meditating or basics or forms on your own. If you want to be in better physical health, there's 10,001 ways you can work on that, and I bet you know a bunch of them. If you'd like to be more confident, practice your forms or anything in front of a mirror. Practice making that confident, aggressive face in front of a mirror, even in the bathroom with the door closed, with nobody to see. Excuse me. If you want to improve if you want to learn how to relax better, there are ways you can do that within martial arts. Practice a form and practice transitioning from completely tight to completely relaxed. Some might call that San Chin. There's always a way. There's always a way that martial arts can help you in your life. And I think that that's why it's so great. Martial arts can benefit everyone, no matter who you are, where you are. And it doesn't have to take a ton of time or money or anything. And it's pretty unique. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget, we do this show every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. right here, Eastern Time, on YouTube. So if you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, you'll get a little ringy-dingy when I come on. If you'd like to ask a question, the best place to do so is below in the comment section, or if you're listening to this later in your podcast feed, because we are on all kinds of podcasts, apps, and platforms, you can email me, jeremy@whistlekick.com. We do have a new episode of Martial Arts Radio out today. I forgot to check who it was. And you can find that right here on YouTube, or again, in a separate podcast feed. It's Whistlekick Martial Arts Radio. We release every Monday and Thursday. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to go finish this cup of coffee and go watch Game of Thrones. Have a great day. Peace.